pretty sure you mentioned that the generator project was underway during the last council meeting. It is still underway and we should be finished soon. We'll report to you as soon as it's completed. We're currently finishing our stats from 2016 from a police end. I do have our dispatch stats from last year. They're a little bit easier to put together. We received a total of 19,602 calls in 2016, and approximately 10,000 of those calls were answered on day turn, 7,500 of those calls were answered on afternoon turn, and 2,200 were answered on midnight turn. And again, I'll have the police stats for you by the next meeting.
Mike, do you?
For the month of December, we issued 9 permits for a total of $803,875. The bulk of that came from 3 new houses, which bring the total to 9 this year. It's most since 2014. Total evaluation for this year was $6,470,711.
Mark?
Just a couple of items. Mr. Murphy, you're going to get me comments at some point on the B ordinance from your, whenever you could get me those.
Yeah, I'll get those this week for you.
Yeah, no problem. The annexation agreement that we've been negotiating with the township, they have our last revisions. We're down to some language in one paragraph. I think it's going to be fine and acceptable to them. I talked to counsel for them today, and I expect to hear back tomorrow or the next day. And the only other item I have is I had provided everybody with the Canfield utility exemption from utility penalties, kind of the algorithm. And I don't know if you've had a chance to look at that. You know, the status of this is, if you want to proceed with something like this, then we'll put an ordinance in place to adopt this as part of the water rules and regulations, I would assume. Or you can continue considering each one of those penalty waivers on an ad hoc basis as they come to you. But this set forth 6 criteria and required individuals who are penalized as a result of a delinquency to apply for the waiver. So not every penalty gets examined. It's those who apply. And then the customer would have to complete an exemption request form and satisfy the following 6 items. 1, the individual has been a registered water customer for at least 5 years. 2, no delinquencies have occurred for the immediately preceding 5 years on that account. 3, the applicable delinquency and penalty were paid within 30 days of notice of the same. And 4, the applicable penalty is less than X dollars, and I want to plug in a dollar amount there because if it's a $1,000 penalty, then I think something that large should still come to council, for example. 5, no penalty exemption has been applied to the subject account during the preceding 2 years, and the request for exemption was made by the customer within 30 days after notice of the delinquency. So administratively, you just check the boxes. If 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 are satisfied, and the person applies, they get the penalty waived, and it doesn't come to council, it doesn't come to the city manager, it's done. That was my proposal. If you want to do that, great. If you don't want to do it and just consider these on an individual basis, that's fine, but I'd like to get this off the burner one way or the other.
Okay. Mark, I would comment to this extent. I know when you sent that out, you asked for feedback. I did not give you feedback. I'm in favor of what you presented there.
Okay.
I guess I thought it and didn't tell you.
Fine. Yep. I've heard from Mr. Solicitor. I think you're in favor. I don't mean to put words in your mouth, but you're in favor of it. So, if anybody else is in favor, I'll prepare some legislation for the next meeting.
I'd like to talk to you after the meeting.
Sure. Okay.
I'm opposed to going forward with it.
Okay. Mr. Dragish?
Yeah, I'm opposed.
You're opposed?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, well, I'll figure it out from there and we'll go forward from there.